Hey Guitar Hacks. Wanted to do this video for a while on my pedal board. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately where players are kind of going through their pedal board, talking about the type of material they do, some of the applications of their pedals, why they need certain pedals for certain sounds. I always find that really interesting just because it gives me ideas about maybe what to try and what to use and so on. So I kind of wanted to do the same thing, just quickly go through the pedals, talk about some of the sounds, why I need certain pedals for certain sounds, what applications, and so on. This is by no means an advertisement for these specific pedals. As you know, there's a million pedals out there, and they all sound great, and so on and so forth. So this just happens to be the group that I assembled here for what I do. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. I'm kind of going to talk through the different pedals and show you some of the sounds that I use them for. I should also mention that the guitar that I'm going to be using and the amp, we'll start with the amp anyway. It's my trusty Marshall DSL 40 with brand new power tubes, just put them in the other day. And for a guitar, my trusty Les Paul 2016 Standard. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so I basically have everything on the amp at 12 o'clock. I've got my delay and my reverb on right now. I like the analog delay on the flashback. Pretty much keep that on all the time. Sometimes I will use the slapback on that for certain songs. But right now, my clean sound, well, plus the delay and reverb, is this. I mean, this is the way I usually set up my amp before I put any pedals on. Kind of very near breakup, so if I hit the guitar hard, it starts to distort a little bit. Learned that tip from the pedal show guys. Okay, so I'm going to start with the governor here. Now I use this for kind of an overdrive, obviously, but sort of more of an ACD-ish type of thing, not super gainy. And that's kind of what I use it for. I'll use it for AC/DC songs. I'll use it for some 80s power pop stuff, where I want the guitar, the notes to still be defined, but just have a little bit of punch behind them. So this is what this is sounding like. That kind of thing, where I got some gain, but it's not crazy over the top gain. Now, the other overdrive I have here is the Wampler Pinnacle Deluxe. This is what I use for sort of any Green Day that we might do. I also use this for high gain. I'll also use this for like Van Halen. That type of thing. It just gives me that really fat kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, 80s sort of distortion, and it kind of sounds like this. Just kind of real in your face, aggressive, dirty, but it has its purposes. And the third overdrive I use is this Plimsoll, and this guy here is kind of sort of a mix, not quite as heavy as the Wampler, and a little more fat than the Governor. So this is what I would use for, let's see, Tragically Hip, any kind of rock and roll tunes that we do, Rush, what else? You always draw a blank when you try and think of the tunes that you play. But anyway, it kind of sounds something like this. So it's that kind of sound. Again, another gainy sound, but again, not quite as heavy as the Governor. Heavier than the Governor, not quite as heavy as the Pinnacle. And then, of course, the trusty old Tube Screamer Mini beside that, which is my lead boost. And it, I went through a couple. I was had a Bad Horse by Tone City for a bit, but this one seems to, I think, do a better job. It just really punches, as you know, it's not this is probably the most talked about pedal out there, but kind of punches the mids, makes everything kind of crystal clear, really makes your single notes stand out. So I'll just hit it here for a second. So without it, this is with it. I'm having a hard time playing here because I got the phone wedged between my my knees, so not that I'm great at the begin with, but even some extra flubs happen in here. But anyways, okay, so then I've got my compressor here, which is basically a lead boost, clean boost. That's really all I use it for when I want to make my single note stand out. I'll hit the compressor. So here it goes. And this would be without it. So it gives me quite a lot of pop. That's the, by the way, I should see what these are. So this is the TC Electronic Hypergravity. It does a hell of a lot than what I use it for, but anyway, it's a decent pedal. Then I've got the Corona Chorus, which I will use that for, for playing clean, and I want that kind of 80s kind of sound. So I'll use that for things like Crowded House, or actually I kind of use this also as a substitute for a phaser, because I don't have, as you can see, I don't have a phase 90 on the board. So if I blend that with the delay and the reverb, it's kind of convincing. So I kind of cheat and use the chorus as a phase. But anyways, this is the chorus. that's the chorus. And then, like I said, with the delay, I pretty much use it all the time. The only time I'll take off the delay is if I'm playing something that's really dry. What comes to mind right away would be, I guess, like an AC/DC tune. A delay on doesn't really work with that. Or if I'm doing a cult song, anything off the Electric record, I don't have the delay on because that's very dry. But that's it. And then the last, well, I got two more here. The Spark Booster, I call that the last resort pedal. It's a clean boost. If I'm doing a gig and, for whatever reason, I can't really hear myself, especially if I go and I hit like a lead boost and nothing's happening, I'll hit that Spark Boost and it'll take whatever is in my chain and just elevate it. It doesn't color it at all. It's a straight clean boost, and I put it at the end of the chain so that everything that I have will shoot up to that volume. So let me just demo that real quick. I'll turn it on here. Okay, now the amp is also distorting a lot more because I have it on the verge of breakup, but if I take it off, you can hear the difference immediately. Okay, so that's basically what it does. And then, of course, I got the Crybaby wah. The wah, it's a mini Crybaby. We do a Bon Jovi song where Sambora's got that I don't know what it's called, where you stick the tube in your mouth, do the wah wah kind of thing. Peter Frampton did it. I kind of cheat that, and I use a wah for that sound. I think the song's called It's My Life. Yeah, I think that's the one. And I'll use that, and it does a pretty good approximation of that. So, let me just... Everybody kind of knows what a wah does, right? In my chain, by the way, the wah is the first pedal right after my Polytune tuner, which is right beside it. So that's basically it. So 3 different drives, because again, you got the sort of the cleaner sort of pop gain that you might want, for like a My Sharona or like a Jesse's Girl or something like that. And then, you got the crazy over the top gain for, Green Day or any punk stuff or Blink 182 or Van Halen. And then you got the middle of the road gain, which is the Plimsoll for me. So those 3 kind of all serve their purpose. I know it sounds silly kind of having 3 gains, but they all serve the purpose. And the lead boost for all 3 of them is the Tube Screamer, which seems to work well with all 3. And then, you need your clean boost. You're playing, what's it called? 8675309, whatever. You're doing that clean part at the beginning, you want it to cut through, so you'll use the compressor for that, that type of thing. When you throw a little bit of chorus on there for playing that, those types of songs, where you're playing a clean thing and you just want it to kind of pop, so you'll use that. The delay, again, mainly I use it for, pretty much have it on all the time unless I need something really dry. The reason I have it on all the time, it just makes everything fatter sounding. If you're in a single guitar band, that helps quite a bit. Also, with the delay, if I'm doing like a 50-ish kind of thing, or like Pretty Woman or something, I'll use that. I'll use the slapback on it. That kind of thing, just to sort of give you that 50-ish or early 60-ish kind of vibe. I'll use that. But in a nutshell, that's about it. So hope I didn't bore you too much with this. I just, like I said, I think it's always interesting when you listen to other players and kind of the tools they use for gigs. And then of course the other whole part of that is what kind of amp you use and guitars and all that, and but that's a whole other thing. So anyways, hope you enjoyed that guitar hacks, and we'll talk to you later. Take it easy.